Welcome, welcome. My cat just immediately, cat immediately is just entranced. I start playing a pan flute. I'm just gonna grab some water right quick. Get some water. One second. Welcome, friends. Welcome. If you guys have been finding yourself inspired in this life, engaging in the real world, connecting, experiencing the real, experiencing the visceral felt experience. This is surely where all the answers, all the keys to all the doors lies, just in the real world. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. For the good energy. Yes. Life has been well now. Life has been very kind. No complaints here. It's funny, I found myself wake up this morning, and I've kind of just been experimenting with these triads, it's transposing chords. So say instead of going to this chord, I transpose it to here. And I've noticed actually something really beautiful when you experiment with these triads. There's actually a lot of free reign to do some beautiful, beautiful things with these improvisation. Yeah, it's funny actually. I got back. Man, my voice is so hoarse right now. It's crazy. Yeah, but I got back from a rave yesterday, about 3 a.m. or whatnot, and I randomly decided, I was like, what happens if I stream? What if I just pop on YouTube stream while I'm cooking some potatoes? And that was really fun. That was really dope. Some really cool people on at like 2 in the morning, or 3 in the morning. That was legendary. That's what I want. This is the chord. Let's move this right closer here. School's cabaret. That's amazing, man. That's amazing, my guy. That's awesome. Cabaret. That's beautiful. There we are. There we are. Just working on mastering my music right now, but here we are. Welcome, 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 friends. Welcome to Yatra. Good afternoon, my friend. Just warming up here. I feel like I kind of lost my voice a little bit yesterday. And I was just like at a rave, you know, just belting out good. Just words. Just gotta drink lots of water. What reverb am I using? Well, I'm using a tone wood amp, so primarily it's a preamp. Yeah, preamp that basically stretches out the natural resonance pattern. So it's not necessarily a reverb. There is reverb settings, but yeah, it's yeah. primarily, yeah, I'm feeding it through my audio interface, so it's mastering the audio. So that's why it's like really refined. But yes, the Tonewood amp, if I didn't express that. Tonewood amp, shout out Tonewood amp. Beautiful device. An archaeologist found a common turkey, the first accords. Huh. Interesting. That's amazing, yeah, archaeologists. I always feel like that'd be a very, very interesting job. You just travel to just go see ancient historical sites. Right, okay. I'm not sure if I can really control that. That's sort of, I'll see if I can lower it, but that's the dynamics of it. Yeah. Yo, thank you. Thank you so much, my guy. Seems to be in a galaxy where every star is male music. Yeah, bruv. I very often love to sort of gather inspiration from just watching the stars. And I found when I was doing cold plunges every day, I would often do the cold plunges at nighttime. And yeah, it was almost like, I swear, for some of those nights when I would just, sprint into the night and do a cold plunge. And you'd be so full of adrenaline that when you're just surrounded by the stars, like, because where I'm in Westwood, I'd be like an open valley. So all you'd see is just stars. Like, you're just full of adrenaline, you just did a cold plunge, and you just see stars. And that was kind of like my lifeblood for a week or so, where I was just kind of like, yeah, I was going through a lot, and it was like, it almost felt like that was like a raw part of my inspiration, was just like, just being in blackness, it's like, it's almost like, because that's what I think is interesting, is like, it's like a part of doing cold plunges, obviously, is the discomfort, right? It's the discomfort of entering the winter freezing cold waters. Of course, you're sitting with nature, you're regulating your breath, you're regulating your nervous system. But another part of it is if you're doing this at nighttime, it's pitch black. It's nothing but you and pure blackness. You're having to embrace the void at nighttime while you're also under the discomfort of a cold plunge. So it's like a further layer of discomfort. Yeah, it's like you find bliss within the sort of the blackness, you know, the blackness of the night sky. Powerful stuff. Yes. The small things you use for guitar seems like a falling star. Very cool. Facts, yeah, no. I've had friends. It's interesting. I've had an interesting relationship with bands where as a kid, you know, I was always very open. I was like, man, I just want to be in a punk rock band or a alternative rock band. But it's like over the years, I've kind of like I've organically seen the positives and the negatives, like the pros and the cons of being in a band. I'm still open to one day, but strangely enough, I found myself almost like really understand and learn what it means to thrive as a solo artist. And it kind of makes sense, I'll be perfectly honest, as you know, as I've developed my sound, I've recognized that I'm more attracted to orchestration. Like I like to compose stuff where I'm orchestrating the entirety of it. So it's almost like I'm sure there's strengths in having like a band where you know you're what's the word? Yeah, you're uh, I don't know. I'm sleep deprived. I can't think of the. You're sectioning. That's the word. You're sectioning out certain elements of the music. You know, like all right, this is your percussionist. This is your vocalist. This is your rhythmic guitar player. This is your lead guitar player. But as a guy that's you know desired to be in a band, but never really met many musicians, that I'm like, all right, these are my bandmates. This is like a sacred pact. I've realized in time how I personally love to create the fullness of the orchestration. Like I love to orchestrate all these different sounds. That's who I find like as a kid I actually it's weird like you know when I saw people in bands all I saw and this is actually my father's experience so this is probably where that direct belief system came from is I saw a lot of people who would join bands, right? You know, they would enter a band, they would get in a project, they'd get really inspired, and then for whatever reason the band would either disperse or something would you know happen with the musical chemistry of these members, and then it would actually just it would permanently affect them. It would like burn out their creativity, and it's almost like part of me has always been very open-minded to meeting other musicians that I could form a band with. You know, I'm always extremely ecstatic of the idea of finding like true fellow musicians that are just complementary to my style or as devoted and developed as my style. But truthfully, yeah, I think as a kid I've always had that belief where I'm like, I'd rather just be a solo artist, ride that wave of creative momentum for my entire life, opposed to just joining a band for the sake of joining a band and then, you know, at some point having to section off that creative energy or even have that creative energy be curbed or stifled and then eventually maybe even it burns out due to whatever occurring, you know, things out of people's hands. And the truth of the matter too is in 2026, I mean obviously there are some bands that are succeeding and thriving, but we're not in the 70s or 80s anymore, even though I love the 70s and 80s deeply. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That's an interesting move, my guy. I think that's a beautiful direction to, yeah, engage in some sort of charity stream. I mean, I feel like that's something. Yeah, I guess yeah. There's no wrong time to do it. I think it's just yeah, bold move. How'd that go? I think charity streams is definitely something I'd love to do in the future. Probably not now at my channel's viewership, but in the future, absolutely. That'd be an honor. Man, it's been a while since I've used this Picasso though. I feel like I've really. I love this picture. I've really got into the habit of taking these pictures for my streams. Adding some character. Nighttime is the best. No bad noise, no one nearby, just the stars. Yeah, honestly, nighttime's nice. I also like early in the morning. Like I think 5 in the morning, before everyone's awake, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Extraordinary time. Extraordinary time. Yeah, it's crazy actually. You might find this resonates, but you know how yesterday we were exploring minor chords, and basically at some point we just got into transposing chords. Basically, it was like we found there's the one, I think it was a G minor, and you could transpose the chord where you mute the second string. I think this is the chord. Yeah, and the idea is I found it's this chord, but then you transpose it. I found that arrangement of the chord for whatever reason. See, this G minor where you're doing a triad. So it's like I have my first finger here on the 5th fret, 4th string, and then my third finger is on the 7th fret on this 3rd string, muting the second, and then my second finger goes on the 6th fret on the 1st string, G minor. What I noticed is this particular shape, when you're muting a string, for some reason I've never made this connection before, is like you can actually have more freedom to not only just basically just do more bass-oriented arrangements or bass-oriented improvisation. Which I find beautiful, because it's like that's the thing that I've noticed. If you're, say, playing a regular bar chord, like a G minor, right? There's a lot of limitations. It's not like you can do a whole lot of like really cool bass note improvisations or floating bass and stuff like that. But when you do this triad, it actually opens it up. It makes it so you can do a lot more diversity. So that blew my mind. Honestly, I've been extremely elated this morning. Even though I'm sleep deprived as fuck, it's crazy how the way it's like this triad. And even further, this is what really excites me, is when you do this triad, you can actually do sort of like this back and forth where you're engaging the bass notes very fluently. And then you can also, you can solo, you can do the lead part. Whoa. And then return to the same triad. Yeah, that blew my mind. That blew my mind. Lots of potential, lots of potential. Our message is going through. That they are, yes, they are. Yes, yes. Very interesting. What's good, Beast? What's good, my brother? Hey, bro, what's good today? Day 4 of fast. I feel the highs and lows. Music helps in this learning. Ah, of the fast. So you're fasting. Wow. Bro, that's amazing. Hell yeah, brother. I'm happy to hear that, Mark. Honestly, that's legendary. Thank you for sharing, honestly. Like, I have many inherent intentions on this channel. Like, many. But the core one, of course, is just like, I just want to inspire guitarists to be like, yo, let's just like, let's do this. Let's pick up our guitars. Let's just do some dope stuff. Like, let's, plant some interesting creative ideas and learn improvisation and learn to just like, yeah. And it's funny, you may notice that the videos I've been releasing as of late, and I actually have many videos I'm going to release. And again, like I've said yesterday, I have some interviews I'm going to do. I'm going to just get some experimental content and put that out there. I've basically been really working on creating long format content, which I'm really thinking I want to get like really ambitious with, just like beautiful camera angles, shoot these like kind of talks in the forest, really high quality audio. But the idea is I'm doing deep dives where I'm really trying to like really bridge these worlds between how one, as I expressed in my recent video, can basically learn to sharpen your mind. Because obviously, like I said, hone the instrument that is you. It's like really what that means in the simplest right is you play the guitar with your mind, with your brain. And quintessentially, if we think about this, really clearly, really objectively, if you're, say, having your dopaminergic loops or your dopamine as a whole siphoned, your dopamine is being constantly siphoned and you're operating of instant gratification, like I'm expressing in the other video. I'm just like promoting my videos. No, but the idea is that when you think of this, right, if you can't think clearly, if you can't focus clearly, if you can't use your mind effectively and really apply yourself, how can you expect to do so, to your guitar? How can you expect to really apply yourself and engage in something as beautiful as guitar, right? And the idea is once you learn how to clear these blockages of your mind, how to intelligently utilize your dopamine in a way that's cohesive, that you can be clear and concise with your actions and your thoughts, then of course, learning something like the guitar, which is quite a cognitively demanding activity, it's going to come much more naturally. So that's where I think where my direction is going with a lot of content is I don't only want to teach people guitar, I want to teach people how to sharpen their minds so then they can apply this to guitar. Because yes, in this world, I think a lot of us, again, our dopamine is being siphoned. Our dopamine is being, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's basically like we're selling our dopamine. We're displacing it. We're sectioning it out to things that don't really desire or need our attention or deserve our attention. And this is the core thing, is our focus is fragmented. So once we learn to regain our focus, regain our dopamine and our healthy dopaminergic regulation, then learning guitar is a much more seamless activity. Yeah, I saw that, brother. About the live stream, yeah, on the charity live stream. Yeah, no, I think that's dope, bro. Congrats. Truthfully, again, like, I think in all transparency, that's a thing, brilliant idea. Like, I think that's actually an amazing idea. It's like everybody wins. Like, you're supporting a good cause, you're allowing yourself to grow organically through that. Oh, speaker just fell. I truthfully think I would love to try that myself in the future. I think I want to do it once I have like a following, once I can really garner, the thing. But obviously, I don't know, no harm in engaging at this point and feeling in the waters, yeah? Yes, but the mind, yes, dopamine. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Gotta love water. Shout out water. Water, water, water. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So you got AdSense, yeah. How did you get your 4,000 watch hours out of curiosity? I've been curious about that. Like, did you get your 4,000 watch hours? Yeah, I'm curious because I'm confused. I'm on the process of trying to get my 4,000 watch hours. So, I mean, getting AdSense is not a thing until I unlock that, but that's fair. Honestly, again, I think it's like, even if you're just experimenting, with like feeling the waters of like how to do a live stream, how to navigate it in a sort of charity context, that's great. Like, that's planting the seed for the future, which is always wise. Some of the videos are down now. Interesting. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Thank you for the hearts. Though try not to spam the chat, my friend. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. But no, someone marketed the channel. Oh. They marketed the channel. You mean you got... So someone sponsored the channel, that. They marketed the channel. So they sponsored the channel without having ad revenue. Or without, huh. I didn't know it was a thing, yeah. That's cool. I mean, I know for a fact, part of my desire is to constantly just like grind through lives, you know, have the algorithm sort of create some waves and then do the same with long format. So I can eventually hit 4,000 watch hours. That's like the goal. I think I'm at roughly 1,500, so it's like 2,500 away, but yeah. That's the beauty. It's the beauty in the struggle, or the process. Does this world have musical space anymore? Hasn't everything been done already, or am I thinking too small? I mean, you're definitely thinking too small, I would say. You're not wrong. Like, I think a lot of people, like if we're just going to be objective, or if we're going to be transparent about this, a lot of people societally have been encouraged to be unoriginal. Like, it's like you can profit a lot greater from being unoriginal. But it's a weird paradox, because I agree, it's like the world needs novelty, but I don't know, bro. I think it's just like you got to be powerfully original. It doesn't matter if you're a musician, or if you're a, you know, a dancer, or whatever you want to do, right? You got to figure out how to almost like inspire yourself to do what has not been done, like see the next path, which again, I don't think it's it's not an easy task, but personally, I say this, I can also sell affiliate products via YouTube and commission. Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah. I know some people, they make like money from like, yeah, affiliate commissions. Yeah. That's good. Good things to consider. Yeah. What about low quality tea? Most teas don't wake me up. What about low quality tea? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just drink cacao. I'm kind of like, yeah. I could probably drink more cacao, probably to wake me up a bit today, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's all about caffeine tolerance, my guy. It's like, I like to drink green tea if I'm going to drink green tea, but I just drink cacao because I like to keep my tolerance very low. But if I want to get a boost, then I'll drink some matcha, or yeah, green tea. I don't know. That's a funny thing, is that's a very subjective thing. You know, a lot of people, I think they abuse caffeine. A lot of people just, you know, they use it in excess, and maybe they don't have a problem. I have no idea. I just keep my caffeine tolerance extremely low. So, you know, when I want to use caffeine, it really gives me dopamine. And this is all, whether you're using tea or whatever, I think it all comes down to your relationship with dopamine, right? It's like if your adrenals and your dopamine is regulated, then it doesn't matter what tea you drink, it's going to go further. In the same context, if your adrenals and dopamine is dysregulated, then it doesn't matter what caffeine or whatever you drink, you're likely not going to get an effective boost. So that might be an adrenal thing, which is unfortunately very common. I don't know, I'm just spitting out some unsolicited advice, so take it with a grain of salt. But that's very interesting, Floyd. Appreciate you sharing, my guy. I think objectively, like almost like, I wouldn't say the skeptic in me, but it's like, I think for me, I mean, maybe I'm just copping out or coping. Defense mechanism all day long, but it's like, I think the way I see it is like, I don't really give a crap about, at least I don't give much craps about making money at this phase of my journey. Like 1,000 subscribers, beautiful. You know, if I can make money, wonderful. But I don't think I'm going to start like to really make money till about 10, 20,000 subscribers. So my goal and my strategy is always going to be like, how can I like really unlock the algorithm and create high quality content that will translate within, you know, the next couple months to get to 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers. Because once you hit 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers, you're in a very strong place. You're in a very solid place. Like that's the area where if you can like bang out live streams and get true views, you know, you have ad revenue as a full degree, maybe you get sponsors approaching you, that's when you're starting to make like real money. Because, you know, I mean, money is not necessarily hard to make, like in the real world. It's not easy to make, of course, but I mean, like, you know, there's a difference between like money is like a thing. If you work a full-time job or you work in the film industry or you do like commercial gigs, money is like a thing where you can make it, you know, pretty actively if you really apply yourself. But for me, I'm all about making money in a very specific type of way. And that's why I like YouTube. Is like I like to think that I can make passive income doing really powerful, fulfilling, meaningful things in the community of YouTube while also, you know, of course, making money, scaling a brand. But I don't know, that's just a belief I've had forever. It's like I personally actually just don't give a crap about money. Like I do care about money, but for many, many years I realized that I don't necessarily care about just making money for the sake of making money. I want to make it in a very specific way. You know, I want to generate income in a way that's profoundly fulfilling. And it makes sense, obviously, as an artist. That's like the path I've chosen. But it's almost like, you know, if someone could just, you could just work a full-time job, you know? Grind it out, make money, technically. You could grind and grind, make money, money. You could be a stock marketer, you could be a lawyer, and like, you know, you technically making money. But like for me, it's all about how one makes money. That's what I think actually quantifies the value of money, not the fact that you have money. Anyways, that's my tangent. Thinks the most recent video uploaded might be too much of a brain rot video. Oh? I mean, I'd trust that intuition, yeah. We don't need brain, we probably, yeah, you don't want brain rot. I'm kind of the opposite of that. I think the whole point of why I created YouTube is like penetrating authenticity, just like wipe out, is penetrating the brain rot. But yeah. I'm sure it's not brain rot though, my guy. I'm sure it's not like classic brain rot. Let's see the future when this channel gets to 100,000 subs. And some of that guitar. That's hilarious as fuck. Yeah, bro, this will be my signature guitar. In the future, that's probably gonna happen. I'll be honest. Like, that's not a thing I think about, but that's the thing that happens. Once a YouTuber gets to a certain point, they get signature guitars. You know, they get sponsored by companies that give them guitars. So yeah, that's probably gonna happen. But you know, I'm not gonna focus on. It's funny though. If you mean like sell you this guitar, like this guitar here. Oh yeah, yo, I remember you, Mark. Yeah, our conversation that started with, we're like, what are you making? How much money are you making with music and like all that like music industry talk. Good words, profound things to think about. But deadass, it's funny. This is a thing when you're talking about that guitar. Yeah, this one, bro. You know what's funny is like, I was on a film set. This is actually a great story. I was on a film set, where I basically was playing a mafia guy. This is a small, like, not a real film. It's known as vertical films. Hilarious films. Anyways, I was on a vertical film. I was playing a mafia guy. I was dressed in all black. I had a gun. I was a stunt guy. Pretty cool shoot. Anyways, the lead actor, who is this, like, really, like, badass dude, really cool guy, also a musician, we sat there all day and just played guitar. And he tried my guitar, he had a guitar, and we sat all day for, like, 7 hours a day, multiple days, just talking about guitar. And at the end of the shoots, he walks up to me. He's, "Hey, bro." He's like, "Can I buy this guitar off of you?" And he's actually from California. No, he's from what's it called? Somewhere in the States. Like, this dude is an actor that traveled to this place for these roles. But anyways, he goes to me. He's like, "Bro, how much to buy your guitar off of you?" Because we were like playing the whole time. He's like, "What if I gave you $2,000 right now for this guitar?" And I was like, "Bro, this guitar, I'll show you where to go buy it for $800 new." But he was like, "No, I'll give you like a couple $1,000s right now. Like, would you sell to me?" And I was like, this is sentimental. And you also wanted, of course, the tone wood amp. Like, tone wood amp's also like another like $400 at least. And this is a model they don't make. So it would have been a fair trade. I could have just took his $2,000 and be like, okay, and go bought another guitar. But at the moment, I was like, this guitar is sentimental. But I was like, so funny. At the moment, this like actor dude, for some reason, I'm assuming he had a lot of money. He was just like, he's like, here, bro, I'll give you cash right now for your guitar. And I was like, no. I was like, no, brother. So, yeah, this guitar, I don't think I'm ever gonna sell. I'm gonna play this baby until it just breaks down into dust. Yeah. That being said, though, I'm extremely excited to get my Ibanez. Yeah. What's your history with that guitar? I've been given guitars that have been destroyed, and my first electric guitar came from a dumpster. Nice. Nice. I mean, my history with guitars is pretty short, I must say. Like, I have a Jackson that's unfortunately broken. I'll probably get it repaired. But I had that since I was 11. I bought that when I was 11, saved all my money that I had, and bought this Jackson. Played that for like several years, and then I bought this about 10 years ago. Yeah, I bought this Lon McQuaid. I remember, when was it? I don't know exactly what. I think I just saved a bunch of money, and I was like, all right, I need an acoustic guitar, and I bought this baby. I've had other acoustic guitars actually that were like really cheap, like couple $100, little half-size acoustic guitars that I would just play to learn acoustic guitar. But this was the first time that I like invested. I was like, I'm gonna buy this, and this is about $900, I think, $950 or something new. But yeah, not that expensive. I mean, not cheap, but it's like top of the line. Like 10 years ago, this was like the top tier Yamaha. It was the newest model. And of course, I think part of why I like this guitar, why I play this guitar so actively is it's not just about the guitar itself. It's obviously about what I've done to basically acclimate this guitar. You know, it's like the string size, the string gauge, the way I've calibrated the action, the way the tone amp is equipped, the way I've mastered the volume with the tone amp. Like I've taken years, this is years and years and years of finding the perfect way to play this guitar, truthfully. For me. Like I've genuinely developed my style of guitar playing based off this guitar. And I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely the sunburst. I think that's what it's called. Dawnburst, sunburst. I think it's sunset. Sunset burst. Yeah, sunset burst. Honestly, if you look up close, like if you saw like in real time, it's got damage. Like there's little dings and it's not in perfect shape. But I also don't care because like the first like few years when I had this, I was like very fixated on not getting a single mark on this. Not a single mark. But then fast forward 10 years, now I just do handstands with it and I like bring me literally everywhere. So it's got a little bit of dings, you know? And that's why I was also surprised, like when the buddy offered me a couple grand for this guitar. I was like, bro, this guitar is like 9 years old. Like, why would you? You can buy a new one that's like way nicer at the local Lon McQuaid. Yeah. True. I mean, I'll be honest, as long as the guitar plays and sounds beautiful, that's all that matters to me. It's like, it's meant to make music, right? And it's like, as long as I'm honoring, the strings, like I have like high quality new strings and whatever, and it plays beautifully, that's all that matters. I don't really care about like the physical things too much. Like, we learn a lot in this world that, part of learning to let go of the material, honor the non-material, and understand how to put the material world in perspective is material things like, physical traits, things that people try to attach value to in the society. It's it's a weird sort of like paradox, it's like I don't know. I could go off on that. This is like a very sort of important element of how I feel I live my life. Is like I think it's important, very simply, to develop things that are way beyond the material. Things like your character, things like discipline, perseverance, and I think in this world, especially as a guy that had an opportunity to be a professional actor as a kid, I've met many actors. I've met many people that are models and many interesting people. And I'll be perfectly honest, there is something profoundly stifling about those that have a lot of things handed to them because they, quintessentially, they look maybe such a way, society praises them for their looks or for their, status. And like, it's a very bizarre phenomenon. I mean, obviously, there's people that transcend those models. There's people that, do great things that are still in those very same models and definitions. But fact of the matter is, I've seen so many people that are basically stunted creatively, in a like a deep, almost like philosophical way. They've stunted their growth as a human being simply because they have so many things handed to them. And it's bizarre. It's a bizarre world we live in. People praise people for material things. If a woman or a man is like, very materialistic and they're very, societally defined as beautiful, it's like they can have a lot of things just handed to them, and then their ego will start to like develop this weird complex where they basically destroy their motivation. They don't know how to apply themselves, how to work hard, how to grind, right? It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. But as a guy that's never really had anything handed to me, I've had to like really work very hard for everything. It's like I feel blessed to have an in-depth perspective of both realms. Yeah. Man, what deal when you play outside? I watch the outside stuff. You play a lot, all good, but different is their connection. Different is there a connection somehow? Yeah. Yeah, I got unlimited data, so I just go into the woods, use my data. Yeah, so I can just play in the outdoors. If you mean like a connection, like soul connection, yeah, brother. There's lots of connection. There's lots of connection. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to some degree. I wouldn't say they're awful. I'll be honest. That's the thing is, as a dude, I'm a guitarist. I also delved into the acting world. I'm a performance artist. I dance. I do acrobatics. I connect with like some phenomenal, beautiful human beings, like in every right of what they are. Everybody has to work for things. Like there's tiers to it. Like if we can't pretend like if a person that's we think is they have things maybe handed to them, or maybe they're privileged, they have money or whatever. They still have insane amounts of problems, if not completely unique problems that are like impossible to imagine. That being said, surely it's like I'm just speaking about people that, again, are being praised by society to a degree where they don't see through the weird, almost like psychological conditioning. It's basically like their mind becomes like yeah, very egoic, very materialistic. They never sort of evolve, on a deeper level. I think a lot of people they do. Like they could have that circumstance and they maybe penetrate that, but I don't know, it exists in many ways. There's people that don't have things handed to them that are also, egotistic, manipulative, maybe just like narcissistic. Basically what I'm talking about, what I'm like centering around is narcissism. It's people that are actually like it's not about people that have things handed or this or that, but no, it's people that don't have a self-awareness behind how grateful they should be or humble they should be for the things they have in their life. Like it's not necessarily about having more or less, but it's again about people not being self-aware enough to appreciate and really utilize the things they have, the resources. And of course, we don't have to look very far to understand that there are people in this world, there are titans in this world, billionaires of all sorts that are perfect definitions of these. These are just like people that are just like, yeah. In my opinion, yes, people never really, yeah. Grew up in one of the most expensive high schools in the world. Every family in the school I went to were either billionaires or wealthy. Yeah, that sucks, dog. That sucks, bro. I mean, I must say, like, I've always thought, I'll be honest, I always had this belief where I was like, man, I always wish I went to like a nice kind of private school. mainly because I would have loved the education. Like I would have loved to learn like, high tier music and maybe chemistry and freaking, I don't know, English and stuff at a high level. I thought that'd be cool. But I had the opposite. I lived in a regular high school. I loved my high school experience. Got to a point where I was kind of a very like troubled, kind of like frustrated high school kid. And I eventually went to an alternate school, which is literally the exact opposite of a like higher privileged school. But I'll be honest, that alternate school was the best high school experience I ever had in my life. Like that's the weird thing. It's almost like the lower in class you move to some degree, or the more informal of your school experience that you begin to experience, it actually seems to be more enriching. There's like more powerful lessons in there. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not. I think I'm speaking of extremes right now, Mark. I'm speaking of people that are like professional models and influencers and celebrities that are just like, they're power hungry, they're corrupt, they're manipulative. Like those, obviously we all, resources is okay. I love the process of acquiring money. I honestly, yeah, we live in a world. We live in a world. Wow. That's bizarre, bro. Yeah, you've got a profoundly balanced perspective then it seems. Well, I can say you're in the right chosen field, so to speak. To be a musician, to be a guitarist. If your life is unraveling in a wild, turmoilic way, you've chosen no better modality to transmute that raw energy into something beautiful and meaningful, and to help and empower people. Because I feel the same way. My life's been far, far from perfect. Now I have a lot of things to be grateful for, but I think often the whole reason why people become musicians is to learn to transmute raw energy, to integrate trauma, very simply. And eventually you become so fluent at doing that, integrating the wounds and the shadow of humanity, that you learn to heal. You become a fluent healer. It's kind of like the full circle path of a musician primarily. Is if you go down that path and continue down that path, eventually you desire to teach and help people with what has healed you. This is like kind of the exact embodiment of my channel, actually. Is I'm just trying to teach people how to heal themselves with music, with embodying how it's healed me. So I commend you. I commend you. There's nothing in this world that we cannot transmute. This is just the way. Wicked, wicked. Volunteer at a place. Hmm. Interesting. Pursuing an MD. Wow, I commend you. That's bold. I mean, we all have our paths, and that's beautiful that you've found the way to really honor your path. I mean, truthfully, I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that I've dipped in the academic system, and I probably would have pursued it to the full-fledged degree. Like I was studying music therapy. I was also studying nutrition and health and various dimensions. But when COVID happened, basically my studies got cut short, but it was also a blessing because personally, I mean, historically, I've always thrived in the means of teaching myself. Like, I thrive in learning outside of the academic system. This is just, I've taught myself numerous things that are honestly, in my mind, far more valuable and yeah, just far more valuable than what I could learn in a classroom. Now, obviously, there's many different incredible positives of being in a classroom beyond just what you learn. There's, you know, the community, there's the mentorships, there's the professors, there's like maybe opportunities that stem in the field, like many opportunities. But for me, I'm a kind of quintessential example of a guy that has thrived outside of the academic system. So my bias is my bias, truthfully. I think what I've done, I'm happy with. But I think wherever you're gonna go, brother, the fact that you're aiming high, you're aiming ambitiously is beautiful. You're gonna succeed with that mentality alone. Just unconsciously played the first riff to the song this time. I mean, all I'd say, some more unsolicited advice, is I think, I mean, I'm not sure how old you are, but I mean, I'm a full grown adult, like I'm 31, and I feel it's very important in life, especially as creatives, especially as human beings, to continuously just be open to the way the path unravels. You know, not trying to fixate too heavily on like, all right, this is the path, this is the way it shall be, because that's where you create like almost like an expectation that's probably going to deviate. It's probably going to split open. Like it's like basically life is going to surprise you in very beautiful ways when you're open to just like allow yourself to just flow to whatever is wanting to unravel. And I don't know, some people don't live by that, some people don't honor that, and I think a lot of people unfortunately end up very miserable. You know, it's like they don't honor the like the sacred path, if you will, of what is trying to flow through them, of like what the universe is trying to guide them towards. And yeah, I think what I'm simply saying is no matter where you are, if you know, if you're not sure how old, again, if you're younger, maybe you're older, maybe you're my age, but I think it's important to, yeah, just like honor where the universe is guiding you, not trying to resist or force any particular process of being like, I mean, obviously, if you're like a devoted musician, like the path of guitar is a beautiful path, no matter what. But it's like, I think it's very important not to fixate on some end goal and like, all right, this is how it has to be, or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's almost like, I think, what was it? The advice I remember someone said is like, it's the picture in your head that's, that's kind of what is most, how they say it, that's what kind of messes us up the most. It derails us, where it's like we have this picture in our head that we think we're trying to accomplish versus what the universe is actually trying to facilitate in our experience. Man, I wish I remember that quote, but my brain is just too sleep deprived. But great quote, very good quote. Yes, sir. Yeah, in the 21st. I feel young. I feel young, truthfully. It's kind of funny. Most people, like when I'm like, yeah, 30, 31, whatever, and people are just like, often other people are just like, wow, I'm 31. Wow. And I'm always like, bro, are you kidding me? Like 31 is like young as shit. Like I know for a fact, like I feel young. I mean, I've also feel very accomplished, very lived, you know, well lived for a 31-year-old. But, and I'm also, of course, people tell me all the time, I look like I'm like 20 years old. But the reality of it is, yeah, I feel like time, age is a very weird parallel. Like it's a very psychological thing. Like we don't have to be like, you know, aging to a degree where like, oh man, like I'm 30 or I'm 20, like I'm 40, I'm 50, who cares? It's like age is literally not even real. Like it's kind of like it's just a thing, it's a belief. And Yeah, again, like if you live a full life that you're, not remorseful of, that you just love, you're just present, you live in a very unapologetic way, then yeah, then you embrace every year. You embrace every single part of life. And I really feel that way. I love being 31. I love it so much. Salt Lake City wants to walk down a service sidewalk. Huh. Police to show up and they got in the wrong Uber. That's crazy. That's bizarre, man. Salt Lake City. Sounds like good adventures. good YouTube content, so to speak. Not that you'd want to make that into that. A mid-drive dude was like, yeah, who are you? And the more I watch these like travel YouTubers where they're just like going in the middle of like random parts of like, like Africa and Iraq and Ukraine and like Thailand and Myanmar and stuff, right? They're just like going to random places. It kind of makes me realize that, yeah, the world is kind of chaotic. Like the process of like traveling around places is chaotic, but it also just comes down to like a level of trust and ability, a level of like competence and communication. Like, if you can like figure out how to navigate the most like turmoilic or tumultuous kind of situations and just trust, like, I can trust this, that, the other, that you can handle yourself or deal with the situation. It seems that goes far. But again, of course, I don't know from experience. Trinidad. Word. Where even is Trinidad? Trinidad. Ah. Republic of Tobago. Venezuela. Huh. Interesting. So you're in Trinidad. Pretty beautiful place, damn. It's actually magical. What the fuck? Where is Venezuela? I don't even know where. So it's somewhere in Spain, or no? Wow, wow, what a beautiful place. Every day was that way. That's unfortunate. This is a guitar channel, my guy. This is a guitar channel. I could roast you, but I don't think that's a really funny joke. I don't know. Tell a joke. Tell a joke. I mean, maybe if I was in sleep deprived, I'd go off in some sort of comedic thing, but I don't know. I was at a rave till like 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm rocking the vibe I'm rocking. What do you call someone who hangs around other musicians? A drummer. Okay. Kind of feels like, yeah, some weird sort of jab at drummers, but hey, I mean, sure, yeah. I don't know, it's not funny, but it's not a joke. Like, all I'd say is like, tell that to Travis Barker. I'd love to see his reaction. Such an interesting chord. improv. Those rich, low cello sounds. That's just magnificent. Thank you, Mark. That felt good. That felt like a good succession of improv. Hobos commissioned to paint a house, afterwards own a house and do a good job painting a Porsche. It's not a Porsche, it's a Ferrari. That's clever. I don't know. That's not. I'm not sure if that's like. Yeah, that's clever. That's clever, Floyd. That's a good one. What's the difference between a guitarist and a savings account? The guitarist eventually generates interest. The savings account. Unless you're a YouTuber, unless you're a successful fingerstyle YouTuber who's killing it, doing live streams and making money. But you got me there. You got me there, Tark. Or Eric. I don't know why I called you Tark, but yeah. You got me there, guy. I'll be honest though, my style of humor, like my style that makes me die laughing, is like good comedic acting and sketches and witty humor. Like jokes, for some reason jokes never really do it for me. Unless it's obviously delivered in an intelligent way. But it's like, for me it's like witty humor all day long. It's like, I like acting humor. That being said, I'll laugh at pretty much anything sometimes, if I'm just high on dopamine. My cat, man. My cat's just staring at me so intentively. She's just trying to figure out what's going on here. Magic. That or she's listening to the music very deeply. She's just very... Yes. Very enamored. Whoa, and something's gone on over there. Probably a bird. Let's go back into this weird triad. Where was it? I also discovered actually this weird chord. What was I doing? It was like a weird chord where I was kind of like doing this. I see you, my cat. What was that? No, that's not it. No, where was it? Where was it? No, that's not it. Man, where was this chord? Stretched. I'll find this chord. I'll find this chord at some point. Back to improv. It's an awful AI joke. That's unfortunate. See, maybe that reinforces my mind why I dislike jokes. Like people delivering jokes. Because yeah, AI, people can just create AI anything. And just write it off as anything. But I don't know. What makes me laugh is always wit. Like in the moment wit. Like actual comedic delivery with tonality, with good, like almost like acting dimension. That's the kind of acting, and I'm gonna do stand-up comedy one day actually. And yeah, it's gonna be great. But it's gonna basically be like witty comedy and like acting comedy, like really good shit, stuff that I would laugh at. But can you do something from Kings of Leon? Honestly, I only know one Kings of Leon song ever, and I have no idea how to perform it. But yeah. I mean, out of curiosity, is there any like, what would you recommend as a Kings of Leon song? I think that I have a feeling there is good Kings of Leon, but I have no idea. Is there an ICE? What's ICE? Yeah, I'm not sure what ICE is. Is that like a government group? Customize the channel. Analytics. Oh, a lot of ice. Is there ice in Canada? I thought you meant like some abbreviation. Sure. Yeah, there's ice. There's lots of ice. Sure. And this was was this a stand-up comedy thing? Was this a joke? Fuck. Yeah, I don't know, bro. There's ice. There's ice. Yeah. Oof. Bass got very high for that. Yeah, I picked up on that halfway through, but it's like, I mean, I'll give you this, Floyd. I mean, if that was an AI joke, I'm sure it's AI, but or if not, whatever. But it's like, I'm sure it's like you wouldn't. That joke would be good only because it's cringe. Like if that's AI, then that's kind of how I think how they deliver is like, it's not a good joke per se. It's not like a joke where you're just like, wow, that's great, and you're laughing because it's funny. It would be like funny because it's cringe. Because just like it's like what, what the fuck, like why, why would you make this joke? Fuck. I don't know, bro. Like in the realms of comedy, I think I love, people laughing. I'm an advocate of human laughter. If people just laugh at everything or just enjoy what makes them laugh, then hell yeah, brother. But truthfully, I don't know, man. Like, I think the funniest things is just pure wit. And I don't know, like, for me, it's like sometimes I'm just like with my partner, we'll just literally just like go off in tangents. We're just joking like nonstop for like hours and it gets to a hilarious place, right? It's like almost like the perfect delivery, the witty delivery of anything can be funny as shit if you're good at delivering. It doesn't have to be a joke per se. And I find jokes kind of just cringe most of the time, unless you're like Matt Rife. But it's like I personally like I think delivery of jokes is just that's what's good. Reasons. Hell yeah, dog. I like this. What's the word? Like improv acting comedy approach you're going at, Xavier. You're just really, really leaning into his narrative. Some classic yes and. I think my cat needs to go to places. What's going on, Meow? What's going on? What's going on? I'm going places. Well. Yeah. Well, I'm loving this. I feel like we're kind of getting somewhere musically. I've since I woke up, I feel like had some strong musical ideas. Kind of sleep deprived, but I'm feeling great. You don't own a porch. Huh. That being said, I think it might be high time to eat some potatoes, go for a run, do a cold plunge, do some reflection, do some psychoanalysis. Man, brain's cooked. Yeah, psychoanalysis, baby. Do some reflections, maybe create some long format content. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Appreciate you, brother. That's such a sincere compliment, honestly. I love when people just throw that out there. Just like, I love this. I love what's going on here. I love the channel. It's like, that's great. It's crazy. I'll be honest. It's a mind trip to think a few months ago, my channel was just sparse. It was kind of just whatever you saw was just, me throwing out some shorts, and the shorts were about music, about guitar stuff and popular stuff. It was almost like very gimmicky in a good way. But it's nice to see that my channel definitely, I feel like I'm proud of it now. Like when I share it with a stranger, when I was on a dance floor last night, I don't promote my channel in the real world, that is, at all. I purposely try to make it so nobody knows about my channel except for, my viewers and people that come across it. But it's so funny. Now I'm I'll share a channel. But, oh yeah, here's my channel. Yeah, whatever. I'll show my channel and I like it because it's now it's nice and filled out. I got some good music on there. I got some good stuff, and I have even more stuff that's coming that's gonna be nuts. So it's good. I feel proud, simply. And it's still very small, but it's for a fact, it's kind of funny. I'm yeah, this is a channel. I'm technically a YouTuber now, which is pretty tight. One day you could do live forest and your guitar harmonics. Yeah. Honestly, I want to do live guitar forest improv streams all the time. But right now it's kind of cold. It's cold as fuck. If I spend more than 40 minutes or 30 minutes in the forest, my hands start to get pretty cold. And I have really good cold tolerance, so that says something. Though in the next month, in the next 3-4 weeks, it's gonna get warmer. Summer's coming, so. That being said, in summer, I'll be perfectly honest. In summertime, very likely, I'll do little blips of forest streams here, but I'll probably just be everywhere. I'll be wandering to random beaches, random forests and other places. I'll be on the move, doing real world stuff, streaming and probably recording stuff for it. But it's gonna be go time. I feel. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. Out of curiosity, to growing is because yeah, I have done that dynamic. I've done something of that. But are you saying more so like meditative guitar in the forest, almost like ASMR, relaxing, very chill guitar, focusing on just the harmonics, which I could see. I've done something similar to that, but I'm just trying to zero in on the dynamic you're requesting, because I feel like I've done something similar and I want to do more of those. But I also am a kind of guy that I bounce around a million ideas that all have different appeal. So yeah, I did the one right here. This baby. Blissful meditative guitar in the forest. Where I literally, and this is actually something I would love to do as a reoccurring segment, where I'm literally just holding my guitar, I'm recording from my POV, and I'm playing the guitar very meditatively as I'm walking through the guitar, or walk through the forest. Doing harmonics, beautiful stuff. I think what I'm going to do in the next week, I'm going to purchase a really high quality lav mic. So what I'll do is I'll use that lav mic to get extremely high quality audio as I do forest guitar stuff. That's what's going to happen in the next week. Alongside using that for conversations and more monologues and stuff. Very nice. All right, I think probably kick it for another 5 minutes, play some improv, really focus on creating this space, putting out some good energy. But I think we're going to exit at this point in 5 minutes time. Make some food, go for a run, do a cold plunge, wake up my brain, work on some content ideas. Ooh, missed that string. That it is, my friend. That being said, this is a tonal amp, so it's using the natural resonance pattern and stretching it out, so it's not really using much reverb. And then it's mastered with Ableton, so it's going through an audio interface. So basically, a lot of what you're hearing is actually just the natural guitar sound stretched out. It's not reverberating it. It's the very same thing you'd hear if you were just like listening very closely to the guitar. It's just stretching out the natural resonance pattern. Botching those harmonics though. Google Gemini jokes. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't spend my time looking into comedy. I like just watch SNL and just like just watch comedy skits. That's kind of my comedy research. That's as far as it goes. Beautiful. Very nice. Yeah, I feel I probably will as well once I do a cold plunge and maybe take a nap. Get the sleep deprivation in control. Yeah. That's phenomenal though. It's great. It's a good thing to immerse yourself into where obviously like honor your body, honor your energy levels, honor your boundaries with what, streams desire to be or how you desire to what your intention is with the stream. But yeah, the more I do them, like today is kind of just like, I'm just chilling, kind of like no real like uh overwhelmingly clear intention other than I'm also playing the violin bow. So that's my intention. Playing muted triads, that's also my intention, but some days I like to just like go on it with like a clear mind. Or I'm like, all right, like I'm here to just like play for the masses. But then some days I'm just casually kicking it, or I just don't really give much fucks. It's a good balance. It's a good balance. Yeah. Wicked. All right, we're hitting the hour and a half mark, I must say. That's okay. That's okay. Well, thank you for chiming in. Now, thank you for chiming in, my friends. Again, going to go for a run, cold plunge, make some potatoes. Yeah, this is the move. So thank you so much for chiming in. Yeah, if this content resonates with you, feel free to follow this channel. Yeah, teach music, and we do meditative, improvised sound journeys among various different types of content. So thank you so much. Much love. Bless. Ashe. Ashe, friend.